Mike DeSapoli, and welcome to the Heritage Market Outlook for the week of Monday, December 27th, 2021. We hope you all had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It's the last full week of trading before we hit the new year, putting a wrap on 2021 and moving into 2022. Let's take a look at how the markets fared today. Market's definitely in a good mood here today. We see the Dow Jones closing up 351 points. The S&P up 65 points, and the NASDAQ leading the way yet again, up 217 points to close at 15,871. We are now in the period of time that would be known as the Santa Claus rally. This is the period of the year that stretches from the first trading day after Christmas through the second trading day of January, and it shows that markets finish higher during this period of time 79% of the time. If you look at the graphic I have on the screen here, you see that obviously it's not a guarantee. Of course, there are periods dating back many years where we did see some negative performance during this period of time, but nonetheless, 79% of the time, this period closes higher. There's a lot of seasonal reasons for that, one of which is a lot of year-end rebalancing, money from pensions flowing into the market, retirement contributions, people trying to make those last-minute 529 contributions, you name it, and it's generally happening at this period of time of the year. So let's take a look really quickly. Broader markets, like we said, up across the board. Looking at some of our key stats here, we're seeing that the 10-year yield, right, the market's barometer on interest rates, closing down a penny today, really remaining unchanged since that big Fed meeting a couple weeks ago, where the initial reaction from the market was that the Fed was going to raise rates and they were going to do so quickly. The market doesn't believe that. The bond market doesn't believe that. And we think that now the stock market is starting to get on board with that narrative as well. And this is why we have seen markets firm up. Let's take a look at our friend real quick, the NASDAQ, right? This is looking at the NASDAQ, really going back to August, the initial correction we saw in the fall, the rally that came out of that. And then a lot of that choppy activity that we saw, right, over the last, let's call it the last 2 to 3 weeks, starting in the beginning of the Omicron variant. And when that was founded, put markets under pressure. And we've seen a couple relief bounces and retests to the bottom. And remember, really just what I want to point out is the last couple days, right? A lot can change in the markets in a very short period of time. I believe we did a video on this day here, right? We spoke about how the markets, they had made an initial low. They tried to rally and went and retested that low. They broke below that low, and all the bears came out and did their victory dance and took their victory lap and said, this market is dead. And then what does the market do? It tends to catch people off guard and make as many people look foolish as possible in a short period of time. So we went from here, making a new intermediate cycle low, boom, right back up towards the top end of the range. So the next thing we're going to look at is we want to see the NASDAQ make a convincing move through the November 22nd short-term high. This is where the market initially tried to rally through and failed upon itself because it was not done digesting just yet. So we're looking to see the markets push through there into new all-time highs. That will be a very bullish sign because the further you move towards all-time highs, you end up with less and less overhead resistance. Now, there is something else we want to point out this week. People coming into the year end in taxable accounts will likely look to take advantage of tax loss harvesting. This is when they will look through their portfolio, they will find the losers, and they will sell those at a loss to cancel out any gains, capital gains and profits that they have accumulated this year. This is a very normal process. People do it at the end of each and every year. We do it in our taxable accounts as well in very selective cases. And it's something I want to point out because it is very likely that some of the stocks that have been under pressure this year will continue to see a little bit of selling this week as people throw up their hands and give up on these names. And unfortunately, what tends to happen is this will mark, not unfortunately for us, but unfortunately for folks that might be selling some of these names, this will tend to mark capitulation lows, right? The moment where investors all gave up at the same time and stocks were able to find a low and trade off of that. So we expect to see tax loss selling through this market this week. As you can see by looking at the market averages, that doesn't mean we can't have good broad market days. We certainly will. But we would expect that some of the areas, some of the stay-at-home, shop-from-home, work-from-home stocks that have been under pressure in 2021 probably see a little bit more selling pressure this week. We think this will mark the lows. And a lot of these stocks that investors have been laughing at in the third and fourth quarters of 2021 will be the stocks that investors are chasing in the first and second quarters of 2022. So again, not a lot on the economic data front this week. We have no Fed speak. We'll get our weekly unemployment claims on Thursday. But beyond that, the market, again, just in a very good seasonal period. Let's bring it up one more time. Hopefully Santa comes to town this year like he has in many years past and gives the markets a nice boost through the year end and into next year. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're always here to talk to you about anything that matters with your money. We thank you so much for following along with all of our videos this year. It's really been quite a ride. We appreciate all the support and viewership from you guys, and we've made a lot of changes to how we do these videos based upon a lot of the feedback that we've gotten from you. So we appreciate that, and we look forward to finishing the year out on a strong note and the ride that awaits us in 2022. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back later this week.